Hi, good morning, Atlanta Drum Academy. This is Tim Greene. I'm going to break down some visual recommendations for your show. Just a few things to keep in mind as you're performing. First and foremost, you guys are awesome. You guys do a great job. I've watched you from the beginning. I've always been a huge supporter, and I love what you're doing, and I love my boy Riles. That being said, when you perform, make sure you're always on the floor performing for the crowd. There are certain sections in your show where you have this kind of battle scene. You're always battling each other on the floor, but you're battling with your energy projecting to the crowd. Okay, you all know what you're doing, so you don't. It's not a surprise. You got to show the crowd so that everybody sees. All right, here's the beginning. All right, so to start with, we're going to do this on mute so we're not distracted by the playing. To start with, we're going to work on everybody coming from the direction that they end in instead of clustering up. So Darius, when you start, we're going to bring you back and have you bring everybody enter from the back. And I never want your back to face the crowd. We always want you, let me go back. Never want your back to face the crowd, because as soon as your back faces the crowd, we lose the intensity of what you're playing and we lose the kind of energy that you're bringing. So make sure that your back, you're always projecting. Again, always projecting. And I want to show you this little cluster here that happens. So when we bring everybody in, but look at this, all this cluster, all this looks like clutter. And then everybody ends up passing over and we never quite make it to the set in time to start our piece. Okay, so we got to get there together, get there at the right time, get there before time so that we look a little bit more uniform to begin with, to start. Now, once we fix the staging, we have really tight spacing between the snares here, and then really big spacing between the snares on this side. What we're gonna do is we're gonna move Jasmine to the center of the court. That's gonna help us identify how far off the center we need to be in order to gauge how far we need to stand next to each other. Generally, a stick's length is gonna do it. So these guys are really far apart. These guys are just a little bit too close. All right, let's keep going. And basses, we're not rocking together. Make sure if we're rocking, we're all rocking together. All right, I don't know if you saw that, but I'm gonna back it up so you can see it. I want you to pay attention to the feet coming together. Watch the feet coming together here. Or lack thereof, right? So we're gonna take that out and we're gonna step off right from the feet apart, okay? And then, once we fix the spacing of the other line, that's gonna fix the spacing of this line. Again, we have really tight over here, really big over here. Basses, where are we facing? So look at basses, we have bass, I don't know what number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bass 5 is almost directly facing that way. Bass 3 is a little bit angled more. Bass 6 and 7, you guys are almost flat. So we have to make sure that we're facing the same way, so that maximizes the
Also, before you press it, I'm looking at the snare feet. I'm looking whose feet are prepped for the moonwalk, right, and whose feet are initiated, not. Right. They're not even, some of them not even set to do it.
Right. And then I want you to watch the timing of the moonwalk. The moonwalk is nothing more than like you're sliding your feet in tempo. So I want you to watch and see who has good tempo during the moonwalk. Ooh, ooh. So now, if the feet look like that, imagine what the hands sound like. That means we're not really clear on what the tempo is supposed to be. So if we're not clear on what the tempo is supposed to be, we're not going to be clear on how the part fits with the playing. All right, so or how the hands fit with the feet. Let's keep going. Again, tight and then big. All right. And then just initiation to move. Ooh. Okay. Now here, this would probably be a better angle, but you keep going. What's his name?
BJ.
BJ, you keep going, man. Watch. So this is good because I can, like, if I'm an audience member, I can still see what you're doing and you're not covering them up. But as we get further in this angle, we start to cover up. But watch, BJ, you're gonna keep going, and then we're gonna lose everything that's happening over here. And then again, stick angles, body angles and intervals. See, there you go. You did it, BJ. There you go, BJ. See, we can't see. All right, so we're gonna work on making that a little bit more. Instead of it being a narrow V, we're gonna work on it being a more wider V so that everybody can see what's going on. So I don't know what the social dynamic is at ADA. I don't know if you guys don't like each other and you guys like each other too much. So because you guys over here are always too close and you guys are over here are always too far apart. So you got to make sure that we work on the spacing. All right. So I'm not going to say that again. You're gonna see it throughout. And then how far apart are the feet? Tenors, when do we arrive? We're gonna talk about that ADA. Like, you can't hear it, but you can see it. I want you to watch the intensity of ADA. It looks like you calling home to your mom and say, I don't want to come home, or you're doing something that has very little energy. Watch. Let's go back to ADA. This is ADA. Like, you don't understand what ADA is. This is big shots. This is all the competitions you're winning. This is ADA, and you're saying like ADA. Watch. Just watch the intensity on the faces or lack thereof. Were you sold? Nope. Okay, so you got to sell that really. Okay, this is not too bad. KJ, your stick was match grip before everybody else's, so you got to make sure you're not turning your stick over to match. Oh, let's go back. Okay, how long are we taking to come down? And how far down do we go? It's like, and then we go. We have to, if we're going all the way down, we got to get all the way down faster so that everybody does it and then move. Right now, I want you to look at it again. I just hit a button. Crap.
It should, hopefully it'll disappear. There we go.
There you go. All right. So watch the trail down after the ending of ADA recovery. Okay.
KG.
Yep. There you go. So watch the hands going down. How far do we go? I'm not sure. And then we're still moving. Okay. So for this part right here, turned and faced it, marching backwards. Got there too early. Got there too late. And then we really didn't get set in time together. So what we're gonna do is everybody's gonna just turn and face it. If everybody turns and faces it, then it doesn't look like we're trying to do something that we're really not comfortable with. Right now, we're really not comfortable with the crab step. We're gonna talk about crab step in rehearsal today, but we're really not comfortable with the crab step. So it looks really awkward when we do it, but if everybody turned and faced it, it's more uniform and it looks better. And you're comfortable with that. So if everybody turns and faces it, then we can actually add a little visual and ensemble element. If everybody turns and faces it, we can have the rest of the ensemble turn and face it. So everybody, once we get in position, then everybody turns together. 2, 3, up. You know what I'm saying? And then we start to play the exercise, and that'll add another level of performance energy. Okay? We're not going to talk about playing. You guys are here for a while, so there's not really much visual to talk about. There's plenty to talk about with the playing, but visual, not too much. Tenors get energy. And okay, so what foot are we stepping off on? Tenors, when we go back, we got to make sure that we all step off on the right foot, on the correct foot. Yeah, you're still in the same place, so I'm not too overly concerned with what's going on here. It could just be a little bit wider just for visual clarity, that's it. Okay. Okay, we gotta sell the head movements. Like right now, I know, I get it, you guys are cool, you got shades on, you got the bandanas, you got the jackets, you got the ADA hoodies, and you're like, yeah, yeah. But when you're playing, it has to be, and then like it has to be, you have to move in time with each other. Otherwise, we don't get the movement. Because watch, I'm gonna go back. I want you know how many head turns are in there. Tell me how many you see and how many stand out to you? Let's go. Let's go. Real quick. All right. So you're doing this. See, not everybody's committed to the nod. Okay, not everybody's turned all the way. If you're gonna turn, you gotta turn. Didn't turn. Didn't turn. Turn late. See, so it doesn't. You lose the effect. You lose the effect when everything you do has to be exaggerated. Okay, wrong foot, and then we'll talk about how to properly execute the crab step so that you don't look like you're trying to avoid eggshells while you're walking. What is it? It has to be the same. Okay, so we got footing here, and then let me say that again. Okay, this is one of my favorite parts when you guys do that thing with the foot. Yeah, there it is. I love it. I like it. That's probably the most uniform you guys are with that. So you got to do that. Footing. Are the feet together? Tenors on that last part, or are they apart? Okay, during solo sections, tenors watch our steps. Okay, when do we get to where we're going to play the tune? Cap, boom, boom, boom. The step. We're getting to the line too late, so we have to make sure we get to the line on time. Okay, basses again. All right. So I wonder if we can we can't really get rid of it. So basically when you got here, like this group moved last and then you guys were kind of set first. So we gotta make sure that we all get there together. All right, let's just go on. I wanna try it. Oh, and then how are we initiating this move around? Do we step off? Is it a ripple step off? Does some people step off first, then the next person, then the next person, then the next person? Okay, we have to figure out who steps off first and what foot they step off. If we're stepping off in a ripple, then it should be like every 2 counts. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, and everybody steps off on the same foot. So as we're marching around, then we're in the same foot to start with. All right, and then again, footing when we step. Cymbals, make sure we get there in time, and then we kneel together. How do we get up? Ooh, did you guys see that? How we got up? It was not uniform. It was just like, oh, look, it's time to go, and then like your parents are telling you the playtime is over. Okay, let's watch that again. So we have to figure out when we're supposed to be getting up. Watch how we get up. Okay, so we have to make sure that we clean that up. And then energy here is good energy. Again, we never want side to, well, this is okay because it's just the two of you, and then you immediately turn to the front. Okay, cool stuff, by the way. Another favorite spot. Okay, we're gonna have to work on some like additional activities for everybody to do while that little duet is going on. Okay, tenors stepping off, gotta step off together. We gotta initiate that move together. All right, so a lot of the movement things that we're doing, it's not a matter of initiating the move together, it's a matter of the timing of the move as far as how long does it last and when does it stop. So if I'm going digga 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 boom, and I want to face this way on the last note, and I'm going digga 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 boom. Some of us are going digga 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 boom. You see how that extra movement after the release, that's what makes it look bad, because we're not stopping on digga 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 boom, and then there's still residual movement. If we all time it, make sure that that downbeat is together and we're moving and stopping all the movement has to stop on that downbeat. You had that several times. So if you go digga 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 boom and stop right there, no more movement, whether you're there or not, it's still gonna have the effect. Okay, so you gotta make sure that the motion stops when it's supposed to stop, and it initiates when it's supposed to initiate. All right, let's try to finish it out. There was one more thing that I really wanted to talk about as far as the bass solo. Okay, again, initiation. Okay, so right here. Now, we have basses going this way, and then we have basses going this way. If we're listening to this, and you're standing in front, you're gonna hear these guys a lot more than you're gonna hear these guys. Why? Because their sound is going this way. Their sound is coming this way. So we're gonna turn all of you that way so that we're getting all the same sounds coming from the drum. Does that make sense? All right, so we're gonna turn all of you guys so that we can hear each drum equally, and it's not bottom heavy, okay? So I think that's the last thing visually that really stuck out, okay? Well, then there's this. Okay, I get it. I play bass, and I know the drum is heavy, but that's the drum you're on. So you gotta put some energy behind it, and you gotta get around, and you gotta stop when everybody else stops. How much more effective would that runaround have been if we all started at the same time and then stopped at the same time, instead of moving and stopping like traffic? Because if you watch, I think it's bass drum number 5. Sorry, number 5. Gotta put you on blast. Watch bass drum number 5. He gets there, he's like, yeah. Watch, you'll see him. See? And it's really unprofessional when the rest of the basses are playing and your sticks are in. So even when you stop and your sticks stay out if there's still bass sound happening. Okay, your sticks have to stay out because the rest of your section is playing. All right? And no huffing and puffing. Okay, so this transition we'll need to work out just depending on space. And then basses, when do we stop? And where do we end up? Look at how tight we are back here, and then how much more space we have back here. So even though we have different sizes of bass drums, we never want that to dictate the spacing, the spatial relationship, because as soon as you do that, then you allow the size of the drum to dictate your form, and it doesn't look symmetric. It doesn't look like symmetrically correct. Okay, so we want that symmetry from one side to the next, instead of it being really close up here and then getting big because the drum is bigger. Okay, so we have to make sure we have direct spots on the floor that we shoot for, instead of looking for a person and the size of our drum. All right. One cool thing about like YouTube and just video in general is you can really tell how bad stick heights are when you pause. Okay, just look at the angle, or good, really high. This is about 12, about 9, about 7.5, about 6, about 6, about 6, about 9, and crooked drum, and just I think that's a flam. But look at the size of that grace note. Ooh. Look at the height of that grace note. Man.
It ain't no flams in there at all, I don't think.
Ooh, if that's not a flam. All right. So. Yeah, this is cool. The more space you have, the more even the space is, the cooler it will look. Wait, did you add a snare?
One of the tenors came from tenor to snare for this part.
Okay, and then Quince, when we move over, when do we stop moving and what foot do we start with, and then the same thing coming back. And we can talk all day about this part and the split roll, but okay, something that may add a little visual element to that split roll is after you're doing it, like look down the line. Look down the line, and then, so as it goes down, you see the ripple you hear the ripple of the roll, and you see the ripple of the heads. So it kind of adds a little element to it. And yeah, we'll talk about it some more when I see you in person, but that's the visual analysis of the show. It's a good show. It's just gonna take some I dotting and T crossing to make it really good. And I think you got it. So see you later.